Hello once again to another short video from the Idea Hunter. This one's concerning the morph transition. I see lots of presentations. Very rarely do I see that anyone's using this transition that is available to some but not all of PowerPoint users. So what I've done is I've created just a few very simple examples of the morph transition, and then we'll go through one of those examples, seeing exactly how we did it. In fact, if I just click here, that is an example of a morph. And for those of you who can remember that character from children's TV, that's a very easy way to remember it. Okay, so where a morph transition will come in useful is if we have any kind of object that on a subsequent slide we may want to have move around. So obviously there are possibilities with animation paths and things like that, always quite complicated though I feel for most people. I'll go through these and then we'll work out what we've done to create this effect. So this basically, we're moving through slides, is saying that here we might want to be talking specifically about the blue circle, and then we would move on, and then finally look at the third icon and talk around that. So that's one way we can use that, and as you can see there, we've been able to change for any one specific object both the colour, the size and the position, so it gives us a lot of flexibility. And then back to where we started. Here's another example. So if we have a newspaper front page and we just wanted to be able to actually draw attention to, say, the advert at the bottom, then we can create this kind of zooming effect. Very straightforward, allowing us to really focus on the point that we want to make around this Tesco ad in this instance. We can also start with a blank slide, and all the objects that will appear in a second are currently off the slide. So that in itself creates a degree of movement. You'll see I've moved 4 boxes off of the actual slide, so that when I do click, we quite neatly produce something which vaguely looks like the Microsoft logo. So again, that's another way we can use it. We can do this also with characters. So these are individual characters, and what we might be able to say here is, the greatest aspect of any challenge is that it inevitably involves some change. And again, we've just changed the position, some elements have faded out and some elements have moved to create something else. Because we've got this zoom function, then a fairly obvious thing we can use that for is when we're wanting to sort of drill down or move down into specific regions within a map. So here we want to focus on the United Kingdom. So they're just a few examples, nothing very advanced. Obviously this can be taken to great extremes in terms of slide design, but I'm just thinking about the basic functionality for the moment. So let us now come out of that. That's the slide that you've seen before, and I'm just going to quickly show you how I created the movement of those circles with that slide. Now, I said at the beginning, not everyone can use this. So if you have a version of PowerPoint sort of 2013 or beyond that, then any morph transition that's applied will just appear as a fade. So the slide will still work, it just won't work in the way that it was intended. For PowerPoint 2016 you can play the morph transition, but you can't create them. Only with PowerPoint 2019 and Office 365 can you actually both create and play these transitions. So the first thing we need to do is establish for your version of PowerPoint, do you have morph on there? So all we need to do is click on the Transitions tab, and if you see morph as we have here, then you're good to go. So all I want to do, in fact maybe just to save time, I'll only do it for let's say 2 of these circles. So there's my slide. I want to duplicate that, so Control D. I'm going to then say, right, so I want these to move to end up. So I'm effectively creating the second slide now. So I want these to end up over here. This one I can bring down, and holding my control thing. Oh, way too big. I want to make that move up here and be much larger. So once I've done that, I could then create that one as well. So duplicate that again, and I'll just do this one more. So here I want these two to move over, and I want this one to become much larger so that we can talk about that. Obviously this is very crudely done. So the important thing now then is to say, right, from these two slides, so 17 and 18 in this instance, I want to apply the morph transition. Okay, so I've done that for 2 slides in one go. All I'm going to do then is go back to slide 16, bring that up on the in show mode. So once we click, we should see the blue one on the next one, and that's going to adjust as well. So all very neat. Really very straightforward. I don't think there's much more to discuss really. So that's how you can, if you can access the morph transition, how you can use that. I think there's lots of experimentation to be done with that. I'm sure that that YouTube has loads of resources as to how to improve slide design using that transition. But that's it for me for now. Yes, I hope you find that a useful one.